What a beautiful view. Yeah. It's so nice to see so many people from different walks of life here. It gives me hope because as we all know, we're all human and this isn't just an Indigenous issue, as a lot of people like to call it. So what a beautiful, beautiful view from up here, seeing so many different people from all over. Today we are going to walk for truth and justice. And it is so long overdue in Canada. I am not originally from these lands. I am originally from Kangeltugapik in the Qikiqtaruk region of Nunavut. And as per protocol, I am going to ask Kukum Shirley to come up from Kitikan Zibi to start with an opening prayer and land acknowledgement.
Sheba, Shirley Ojit Tole, Nidishni Kaz, Kitganzi Bing, Nindonjiba. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Algonquin unceded, unsurrendered territory. My name is Shirley Ojik Tole. They call me Kukum Shirley. Some people do. Kukum is grandmother. And I welcome all of you. I've been asked to do the Thanksgiving. This is a Thanksgiving that I teach my students. I am an immersion teacher, Anishinaabe language teacher. So I teach the children to give thanksgiving every day. Every day we give thanksgiving. So what I teach them is this. Thank you for the earth. Thank you for everything that grows on the earth. The grasses, the bushes, the trees, all those things that carry medicines and food. Thank you for the animals, all those animals, wild ones and the tame ones, the four-leggeds, the ones that fly, the ones that crawl, the ones that swim, the ones that carry medicines, and the ones that we eat. We say miigwech. Miigwech to all. Everything that is out there. We give thanks to the sun, our grandfather, the sun. We give thanks to Bekises, the grandmother moon, and the stars, and all that we can see and do not see. We give thanks. We give thanks for the air that we breathe. We give thanks for Shkude, the fire that keeps us warm. And we give thanks, Momdige, we give thanks for the water. Nibi, we give thanks for that. That gives us life. We give thanks for our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our families, all our relations. There is so much to be thankful for. We are thankful for our lives. Be thankful that you woke up this morning, that you have a life. Miigwech. We also say miigwech to the Creator for everything, for everything. So what I'm going to ask in the prayer as well, in the Thanksgiving address, is to ask for strength. Mashkawaziwin. Ask for strength for each one of you, each one of us, and especially for those people that sit in that big house here, to do right, for all the injustices that have happened in the past, especially those children that went through a lot of abuse. Some of them, their lives, babies, children. We ask for justice. I am now going to say the prayer, the Thanksgiving, in my language, the ancestral language of this territory. Miigwech, kijamanedo. Unje aki. Miigwech unje kakinagego, kagijendaman. Mijashki, uyagajik. Kaye mitigog, kakina mashkiki kaye mijim. Miigwech, unje we sinzak. Kane wagadejik, kabe misojik. Kabe madigejik. Kakinaguch, awajguch. Kakina, away sinzak. Miigwech. Onje, kakinage gogagi jendaman, mamdege mashkiki, kai kidia. Miigwech, onje. Jesus, tibe Jesus, kaya nangshak. Miigwech, onje, esewen. Ishkude. Kaya mamdege nibi. Kijimi nombi madziyang. Miigwech. Onje nigo komisnanik. Nimishom sinanik. Kakena idodem nanik. Kijinwe daganat. Wagagwede andash nongum. Niwigagwede. Mashkawaziwen. Mashkawaziwen. Unje ninawind. Kinawa. Mamdege. Wasugo. Lamadabije kundashe. Kiche. Miguaming. Mashkawaziwen. Kwayak. Chikoyak. Ke go todo mawaj. Unje go abenoji shak. Kabi kina magus waj. Wasa. Nananend kibigiweg. Nananend kinabug indima. Mida sheka kina wagagwedi anongom chimanedo. Miigwech just the kid. Miigwech. 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 Miigwech.
Invite drummers to come up and do their thing to honor all of the residential school survivors.
Bonjour, Ani, Tanse, Kwekwe, Wache, Sego. Mki Banonje, Kapisi, Smat, Napisas, Indigenakais, Mein Gandudem, Kajanong, and Donjaba. Today I'm going to sing an honor song for all our residential school survivors. This is an honor song that I always remember growing up. I always remember hearing this song, and this song is for them.
For honoring our elders. Honoring the mothers, sorry. English is my second language, so if I blah, bear with me. We are now going to hear from very powerful young women.
Bojo, Jacqueline Shugwaja Dishnikas, Rukumakon Singh Dongjaba. Hi, hello, my name is Jacqueline Shugwaja. I am from Rukumakon Singh and I'm Ojibwe Kwe from Rukumakon First Nation. I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous right now. So this is my first time speaking in front of a crowd, but I just really wanted to sing for us today. Thank you. We're gonna sing Strong Woman, but I also want to acknowledge and apologize because usually how we do it, we sing Men's Healing right after, but none of us are comfortable with leading that at the moment because we're still learning. So hope you guys could appreciate it and just accept our apology for not offering the full protocol for it. Yeah, I'm just gonna let whoever else wants to introduce themselves.
Wachia Bethany Stewart Nitzing Kasun Womenji Iuni. So hello, my name is Bethany Stewart. I am Cree from Northern James Bay, Quebec, and Womenji Iuishi. And I'm honored to be able to sing here for you guys today. I'm a Millennium Scoop survivor myself, so a bit different than residential schools. And for me to be able to sing and drum is a huge thing for me because my culture was stolen from me.
Hello, my name is Emily. I'm from Gun River First Nation, and I'm here to drum and sing for you guys today.
Hello, my name is Kirsten Dumont. I'm Algonquin from Kitigan Zibi, and I'm so honored to be singing to you all and with this group, Miigwech.
Hi, just a quick introduction. Watchin, Musue. Gabasili Nina, Omishgegwag Nanong in the back. I'm Swampy Cree. I'm from Alapskat First Nation.
Hello, my name's Cedar Ital. I come from Ottawa, Pisgat First Nation, as well as Pewanik. I'm happy to be here to sing with everyone. Thank you for being here.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Kigutak Metcalf. There's a lot of people. I'm 15 my family's from Arctic Bay, Nunavut.
Just before we start, I just want to acknowledge we're doing Strong Women, and I just want to praise all the Indigenous women out there and the strength that we all hold and how we raise the children nowadays, both the mothers and aunties. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all the Native women out there and like the strength, and like I see you guys and I appreciate you guys and all the space you hold for all of us. And I want to thank Mumilaaq to putting this together because this was kind of needed something like this lately, so thank you. And yeah, thank you for holding space and letting us sing. This is very last minute, so just chimiigwech. Yeah, so we're just gonna start, I guess. I don't know what to do with that. So I'm just gonna do four truth beats, right? So. nervous for us, and this is the first time. But just chimiigwech, I can't express it enough.
That was beautiful. And let us not forget that that was trying to get erased not that long ago. And our ancestors, our grandparents, and our parents weren't allowed to do stuff like this. So that is beautiful. We are still here, and it just proved it. If there's any elders here, I welcome you to come sit under the tent.
Don't know what that is.
Now we are going to move on to the ones that started this, the ones that are calling out for truth and justice, the ones that speak on our behalf in the House of Commons, the House of Commons that created these very policies and these laws that were trying to get rid of us. I'm now going to invite Charlie Angus.
Wache, bonjour, Kwekwe, Charlie Angus, Nadijina Kaz. This is a beautiful day. This is a really beautiful day. And I want to pay tribute first to the elders who are here. We are going to march and then come back and listen and learn from them. So I ask you to make sure you come back. I was in Niskandaga earlier this week. I don't know if you've heard of Niskandaga. 26 and a half years without drinking water. In a country as rich as Canada. And we met such beautiful people in Niskandaga. And if you go into the building here, you'll meet people who tell you they care. Carolyn Bennett was there in 2016 and she got her picture taken. And what they say is, we're trying. Be patient. 26 and a half years of patience. So why am I talking about that today? Because if you listen to Justin Trudeau, he'll say, we care. Be patient. We're talking about crimes against humanity. We're talking about children stolen from their families and left in unmarked graves. And it's not good enough to show up with a teddy bear and say it's a tragedy. A tragedy is when a little child walks out on that road and gets hurt by a bus. That's a tragedy. When you have mass graves across this country at every residential school, you are not talking about a tragedy. You are talking about a policy to destroy a people, and that meets the test of a crime against humanity, and it needs to be investigated. Nous sommes ici pour une raison simple aujourd'hui. La collusion entre le gouvernement fédéral et l'Église catholique doit mettre fin immédiatement. C'était le gouvernement qui était caché la preuve. Et c'était le rôle de l'Église catholique de protéger les criminels. Ce n'est pas acceptable. La justice, nous demandons la justice pour les survivants et pour le Canada. So why are we here today? We are marching to say it is time to treat this as a criminal investigation, and I'm gonna wrap up with this, but you know, the government says, oh my God, we don't have the legal power to investigate ourselves. We don't know how to do that. It must be so hard to be David Lametti and Carolyn Bennett and Justin Trudeau when they can't understand how simple it is to nominate a special independent prosecutor with the power to demand justice from the Justice Department. To tell the Oblates and the Catholic Church, the days when you get to pretend that you can get away with hiding the evidence of the crimes that were committed by your institution, those days are gone. Those criminals like Father Revoir are still walking free, and they were protected by the Oblates, they were protected by the church, and they were protected by the federal government, and we're saying no more. No more. Because this nation will move on, and this nation will be a better nation, and we will learn from the elders, and we will learn from the crimes that were committed, but we cannot move on until we have justice, till we recognize the crime against humanity to try and destroy a people, because the people are still here and they are not going anywhere, and we are not going anywhere as a nation until we have justice. That's why we're marching. Merci, Miigwech, thank you.
Charlie is amazing. He's like the greatest ally for us all. I now want to invite Alexander, who is the MP in Montreal. Take it away.
Miigwech. Je veux d'abord dire que je veux prendre un temps pour reconnaître que nous sommes sur un territoire algonquin non cédé. Je pense que c'est important, ça a été dit auparavant, mais je voulais le dire en français également. Je ne veux pas parler trop longtemps. Je veux d'abord remercier le travail formidable de Mumilaaq Qaqqaq et Charlie Angus pour tout le travail qu'ils font sur ce dossier depuis des années. C'est admirable, c'est inspirant et on en a besoin. Je veux aussi souligner la présence de collègues députés du NPD, Matthew Green et Gord Jones, qui sont avec nous aussi aujourd'hui. Merci. Merci à tout le monde d'être là. Merci aux aînés. Ce qu'on est en train de vivre est un moment important, un moment crucial dans l'histoire de notre pays. On a eu au cours des dernières semaines puis des derniers mois des preuves tangibles. Des preuves qu'il y avait une institution qui systématiquement voulait éliminer des enfants, voulait éliminer une culture. On a arraché des enfants des mains de leurs parents dans les villages pour les amener à un endroit où on voulait culturellement et même parfois physiquement les éliminer et les faire disparaître. C'est une des pires preuves de colonialisme que nous avons en ce moment au Canada. Ils ont dit il faut tuer l'Indien dans l'enfant, je dis il faut tuer le colonialiste en nous-mêmes. Et il faut tuer le colonialiste dans nos institutions et dans les lois de ce pays. Et l'étape qu'on fait aujourd'hui est extrêmement importante parce qu'il n'y aura pas de réconciliation sans vérité. Il n'y aura pas de réconciliation sans justice. Monsieur Trudeau, Monsieur Lametti, écoutez-nous, on veut une enquête indépendante pour faire toute la vérité. Merci. Miigwech, bonne journée.
Now I want to invite Mumilaaq Qaqqaq. Can I just point out that our dads were born in igloos. They were born on the land. And today their daughters are here. Who would have thought? The government did not succeed. So here's Mumilaaq Qaqqaq.
I'm Mumilaaq.
Hey, Susie.
Thank you for caring.
I've been lurking.
I stood in that house in 2017 and I said, where are the leaders with power and ability to make change? Here I am.
Our non-Indigenous allies. Here you are.
I'd like to acknowledge the elders that have given us their time and space, that have been brave enough to speak their truth. And what an odd thing to talk about in this country. An honor to be able to talk about the abuse that you were forced through. We do this so that our children are not sitting here as elders asking for their basic human rights. We need to stop being so selfish This is not about us. This is about our children. This is about individuals who lived and continue to live through horrors, through traumas. This is bigger than this. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. It is really crazy how many of us should not be standing here. I look around and I see beautiful regalia and braids and beads and furs and all these indigeneity. You know how many of us aren't supposed to be standing here today? And are? Thank you to those that decide to live in who they are, decide to be allies and do what's right. Thank you for caring, thank you for showing up. But this is just the beginning of the conversation. We are about to open up the black plague of colonization. This is just the beginning. People need healing. People need basic human rights. Although we're talking about justice, this is just that start of the conversation.
I know.
So let's march. We will be led by elders. Elders, although you are, of course, more than welcome, you are welcome to stay. You have done your part. It's time for us to march for you. So, of course, we want you to lead, but you are more than welcome to stay. As Charlie mentioned, we will be marching first to the Prime Minister's office, and then we will head to the Justice Department, then we will come back here and listen to elders. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is to come back and listen to elders. I expect all our allies right back here. Right back here. And just thank you so much for giving me space, time, your effort, your honesty, and allowing me to be a human being. Thank you for allowing Indigenous people to be human as well. Thank you for choosing to learn over and over. You showed up. Continue to show up. Continue to do your part. This is not about you, but you have a part to do. Non-Indigenous people, we need you. The federal institution will not listen to us alone. We have been crying out for decades. We have been dying for decades because of a lack of basic human rights. We march for justice and truth today, but it is just the beginning. So, elders will lead us along with youth, and we will follow behind. Politicians, we are just the push here. This isn't about us. This is about who we walk for. This is about children that come after. We don't want our children having to expose these truths so horrendously and having to fight for justice their entire lives. I appreciate you all being here to say with me, enough is enough. Let's march.
And I'm here to support the idea of there being a special prosecutor to investigate, well, starting with residential schools and hopefully going beyond that. Special prosecutors are usually brought in when the administration of justice might otherwise be questioned. So often it's when it's the military, and you don't want the military to necessarily just be investigating themselves. And in this case, the crimes that we're talking about aren't really just individual crimes, but it's crimes where the churches, the government, and the RCMP itself are implicated in various ways. So can you really send in the police to investigate themselves?
I'm here because I think it's the most important thing going right now is to stand up and demand justice. You know, we have talked about justice in this march today. You know, it's for an independent inquiry, and you know, calling those who have committed crimes against Indigenous people and others at large, you know, to justice.
Part-time prof at Carleton U, and I'm coming out today because we need to take what happened to Indigenous people and Indigenous nations across this country seriously, and we need to begin by addressing the genocide which was the residential school system.
And why is it important for you to come out?
Because I have a long affiliation with First Nation communities and Métis communities across this country. I'm from northern BC originally, and I knew Indigenous people that went to school with me way back in the old days of 1985. We had racial segregation in our schools. The Indigenous children in our school, in our high school in Vanderhoof, small town in northern BC, they were made to wash windows and pick up garbage while the rest of us went to school. And that's the truth. And that's only, 40 years ago.
And I'm here to support the call for an independent judicial inquiry into Indian residential schools.
And why is this issue so important to you?
Well, I haven't been a close follower of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission until a couple of years ago, and I was prompted by a talk that Senator Sinclair's son, Nigan Sinclair, gave in Picton about a statue of John A. Macdonald, and that got me interested in the legacy and the foundation of Canada. And from there, I got into Indian residential schools. I had worked all my life in children's mental health. We had worked with a good number of children from First Nations. And through their experiences, I got to know a little bit about their life currently. And then as I looked into Indian residential schools, I had a better understanding of the history of those communities and maybe why they were experiencing some of their difficulties.
Because I think we are here on earth to love each other and live in community. And what I see as I've grown up, I'm 55 years old, and you know, we live in a system that separates us, divides us. I mean, you've heard Trudeau talk. It sounds like he actually cares, but nothing changes. You know, he has been blocking justice for Indigenous people since he was in. You know, the courts have given awards which the Liberal Party is fighting. Yet you listen to the man on the other hand, and you know, he's the best friend of the Indigenous. Things are going to change, and he's doing nothing. You know, there are children and communities with no clean drinking water, you know, in areas that we forced them to live in, you know, as we colonialize this nation. They are still there because of our actions, and we do nothing. You know, if there was bad water in any neighborhood in Canada outside of Indigenous neighborhoods, it would be fixed instantly regardless of the cost.
And there was a residential school, it was called LeJac, and they shipped Indigenous people and they ripped them from their families. Can you imagine what it is to take your family, your children away? Just think about that for 1 minute. And imagine communities without children in them. So if you count the residential school survivors, which there are tens of thousands, imagine, and hundreds of thousands possibly, if you multiply that by their families, their parents, you're talking about millions of people across this country.
So you've seen these instances personally. What are your thoughts on the memorial?
I'm thinking it's about time. And it's not just the children. Our focus needs to be on the children because every child matters, but it's about their mothers. Think of their mothers and fathers. Think of how emasculating it was for these men not to be able to protect their children. And the women, think of how they were devastated. How could they go on without their children? And the women are the heart of the nation. And that is what genocide attacked, the heart of the nation and the ability of generations to reproduce themselves. People have lived here since time immemorial. And people talk about residential school like it was a tragedy and an accident. It was no accident. It was a policy of genocide. And what I mean by that is that we wanted to eradicate Indigenous people and Indigenous nations from this land so that we could take their land and cultivate it for white settlers.
And I find it quite unfortunate that he wants to pass this on to the police. And this is not something that can be passed on to the police. So I'm here partly to support Charlie Angus, who I also met in the context of copyright. I mean, it's interesting that the current Justice Minister and Charlie Angus once sat on the same table on the same time, same side, arguing the same things. And now there's a march. One is marching to the other to say, please, do the right thing.
So it was a deliberate policy, and the residential school was a consequence of it. And we're still engaging in colonialism today. We're still raping resources from this land, which is terrible for climate justice, and it's terrible for Indigenous people that want to have a balanced use of resources on their land. Indigenous people have been using resources in Canada and Turtle Island from time immemorial, and they've been doing it in harmony with nature, and they've been doing it sustainably. And we're here to learn. All of us as settlers come from our own cultures. We're a diverse nation, and we're here on Turtle Island to learn from each other. But we're here to learn best practices, not worst practices.
Hey,